Hello, I'm Lesley Logan. I'm back with another Struggle is Reals installment with Andrea, Maida Pilates. It's our weekly collaboration, and this week we are talking about backbends. So you guys definitely want to check out Andrea's video on this because our bodies are very different from each other. And I happen to love backbends. My body loves backbends. And I also have a very interesting journey with backbends and Pilates because how many of you have ever had someone tell you have a beautiful practice only to find out that you're really good at making something look good, but you're not really good at actually using the muscles that get you there? Me. So I'll never forget, my first yoga class, some yoga teacher was like, you have a beautiful practice. And I'm like, impossible. It's my first fucking day. I've never done yoga before. I'm super flexible and fairly strong. At the time, I was fairly strong, but more flexible. Now, I'm very strong and equally flexible. And some areas still have a little more flexibility than others, but I think the beauty of Pilates is the balance between equal stretch and strength, right? That's what Pilates is always going forward. So know that if you are super, super strong and not flexible, you will get more flexible. And if you're super, super flexible and not strong, if you don't cheat, look like, and instead you make them go for what they can be like, it's going to be better for you, which for someone like me means you'll feel like you're limiting yourself in a way, because my backbends were actually coming from the wrong place, and therefore while it looked really good, it wasn't connected in the right spots, and so I had nowhere to grow. So let's talk about that. For example, swan. I can go like this and there's no pain in my back. There's no problems and it feels good, right? It doesn't feel bad. But if I focus on having the longest extension, then this is kind of where I am today. I might be able to get a little bit more length forward, but it's not nearly, it still might be impressive to you, but there's going to be a yogi out there who's going to make me look like I'm, not flexible at all. So another example would be rocking. So right here, I was doing this and I'm like, I'm doing it. But I'm really kind of hanging off my shoulders. If I go for the longest length in my rocker back bend, it looks like that. And the beautiful thing is when you're super connected and you're not going for the looks of the exercise, I was able to rock just by breathing. And that's super, super key. So for the sake of not making this an hour-long video for you, we're just here on the mat today. But you can check out my reformer videos on breaststroke and swans. I really have been focusing on how much length I can get and not confusing up and forward with back and up, right? So I'm not trying to get my head to my feet. I'm trying to create space in my spine, and then infinitely, maybe they would touch if I was in the infinity person, but that's not the goal. The goal is the longest length. So how did I do that? Well, aside from focusing on just the connection in my front body and all my extension. So before I could lift my chest and my pull straps, I had to make sure that my stomach and my low abs and my ribs stayed connected. So I was doing pull straps and stopping halfway, because if I went any further, I'd drop into my lower back and I'd lift my chest up and it would look good, but it wasn't actually connected. So for the longest time, my pull straps would look like a body on a board. And if you take my online reformer classes with me at onlinepilatesclasses.com, you'll see I don't get super high in my pull straps. That's not the point. The point is to stay super connected, right? So another way aside from just limiting my range of motion and focusing on my front body connection to support the length that I needed in my back body, I also did things like get the spine corrector out. So the spine corrector, you can use a small barrel, is pretty like an honesty police. Because if you are dumping into your lower back, or dumping into your flexibility, you will not go anywhere. So if you're here and you're doing your swan and you're trying to make it super big, you're going to fall, right? I can't go anywhere. But if I focus on my length, then again, I can breathe. And I can work on making this a bigger range of motion up and down, but the extension in my upper back and the strength in my back and my legs is better. So then when I go on the mat and I focus on that same full body connection, it's so much more helpful. The other way, right, we saw my rocking. So if I set up in the right spot, hold on, that's key. But if I'm focusing more on the length in my body, then again, I can just breathe and I can focus on the hamstrings and back muscles, making this exercise shape and not the flexibility of my joints. So there's other back bends in Pilates that are super big. Like we could do the high bridge here on the spine corrector, the high bridge on the reformer. You've got your swans everywhere. You guys, the struggle is real if you are going towards an image of the exercise. If you go for length and you are satisfied with it feeling small, I promise you, your back extensions will level up in like the shortest period of time. Our back body muscles are postural muscles, so they are always working and they want to be fed, they want to be fueled, they want to be used. So if you actually use them in the right way, their endurance is insane and they will like level up with you. So I encourage you to go for more length and like do those swans and pull straps and do the arm series on the Cadillac with the springs and go for just feeling long and tall with a little bit of an extension in the upper back, right? Do your small barrel arm series. You can do your arm series on here if you want to, and focus on how the arms connecting to the back pull you into extension. That's one of the things I didn't talk about it in my demonstrations, but if my arms are connected to my back, then when my legs press into my hands and rocking, it pulls my back into a deeper extension. But if my arms aren't connected to my back, if I'm just hanging off of them, I can press my legs into my hands all I want, and I'm just going to end up in my lower back, and then I'm going to wonder why I can't rock, or eventually, because we all get older, it's not going to feel good, right? So if you can be satisfied with finding back strength connection, the extension will get there. The other thing is just like anything in Pilates, there's two stretches going in either direction. So you can't just try to go in one direction. Like my swan can't just be my back trying to get towards my feet. It has to be my feet reaching, my whole lower body is reaching one way. That helps me lift my lower abs and get length in my spine. And my whole upper body reaching the other direction, right? That is so key. So if you're only focusing on your back, your upper back, trying to back bend, and you're just letting your lower back hang there, you're not going to progress, and it's going to feel like a struggle every single time. So for me, as a lover of back bends, the struggle will be more real if you're hypermobile and I'm telling you to limit yourself in a way that actually will help you be stronger. So focus on the strength. If you're limiting yourself and you're not feeling back strength and connection, then you're still not there. And let's talk about it in the comments. You can go into the YouTube community. We can really exercise that conversation. If you're a member of onlinepilatesclasses.com, then we have our members only group and we could talk about it there. But then also check out Andrea Maida Pilates, because backbends are a struggle for her. And so how she has made them possible in her body is really going to help those of you who are a little tighter. Thank you so much for watching this. If this helped you in any way, please share it with your friends, and we will see you next week.